Hello and welcome back to Hollowponds Solo Sagas, and today is a special day because today when this airs, it's my birthday. Yeah, it's my birthday today. It's not my birthday when I'm recording this, of course, because I have to record it, edit it, upload it and everything like that. But by the time you're seeing this, on this day, it's my birthday. Happy birthday to me, happy birthday to me, happy birthday dear me. Playing solo, dear me. And today we will be playing Twilight 2000. Episode 19 we're on. This is the 19th episode in the prison, which is one of the scenario sites within the referee's manual in the box set of Twilight 2000. We have been exploring for the last few episodes. Things are starting to heat up. We have a few clocks running and a few things that are going to happen. We have a bunch of Soviets that are outside the prison that are waiting to come in. We have a couple of assaults that have occurred within the prison, and we've had some things happening at the moment. It's the evening shift, well, the night shift of the 19th of May. We've just had a big speech by Rasputin about what to happen. One of the marauders has been caught and executed. Some refugees have been turned away, and we need to see what will happen next. So we will come into the night shift. First off, so what have we got that could happen? We've got the murder of Jacob. We need to work out who murdered him. Like we know, but the team doesn't know, but they have suspects. Then we have this intelligence agent that he's going to approach. So we said that the intelligence agent would approach staff during this night shift, but something else might happen and we might have some clocks that roll. So what do we have for the night shift? We would have, so Jane rested most of today, and so they would be in they might actually, whereas Jacob and staff were in the rowdy sort of side, actually Jane might want to be in the rowdy side as well, at the dormitories. So we might have Jane will just sort of like stay awake and keep watch over them. Staff explored most of the day, so staff will have to sleep with McCoy. Jack rested as well, so Jack might just sit up with Jane. Toby is in the Bradley outside. Toby is gonna basically seal himself in and attempt to sleep. And then we've got Jacob would also sleep because Jacob was exploring with staff. So before we'll consider, we won't bother rolling for watch because they're sitting there anyway, but let's roll our dice pools for the Soviets outside. So this is it's storm. There's a storm picking up. It's a loud night. There's lots of thunder and rain. The refugees have created a little shanty town outside the prison. Just quickly, the prison has provided them with some tarpaulins and stuff, but they can't let them in because they don't have the resources. And then they're being turned away and heading towards Rocklaw in the morning. So nothing. So the Soviets are still during that night shift aren't doing anything. Now we've got the whole Cutler intelligence agent. Nothing kicks off there, but we do know that we had planned for Cutler to approach staff during the night shift and ask staff for a way out. We might also, just to throw something extra in the pot, pull one of these. So what we did was, just remind you if you haven't been watching, we took all of the events and the countdown events that were in the scenario site, put them all onto little pieces of paper. These have already been pulled out, and tie them up and put them in this little bag, so as we can pull them out randomly, like a tombola. Does anyone know what a tombola is? If you know what a tombola is, inform everybody else in the comments below. And then we can pull one out like this, and we can read it out and see what our random encounter is. Countdown. 2 rival intelligence agencies looking for the disc arrive with backup at the prison. This puts the prison between 2 sizable forces, likely 1 US and 1 Soviet, and the poles in the middle. No one is willing to back down. A fight is about to break out. Oh, okay, that's pretty cool timing. Okay, we'll give this. So basically, what's happened is during the night. So we'll find this out in the morning. But during the night, a US force turns up They want to come in this prison because they know there's some important data. So the Soviets want to come in the prison for the fuel production bits. There's that force. There's a T-72, a couple of BTRs, and a sizable force of troops outside. Now a US troop has turned up, and they're squaring off against the Soviets because the US wants to come in because they know that there's the data inside. Because that agent who we've got the dice roll that's going to kick off, that agent has contacted them to say it's here, and so whatever this MacGuffin, whatever this data is, it's very important, and they don't want it to fall into other people's hands. All right, so they've turned up. So that's our second countdown event. So they've turned up outside. Well, that will be on the 20th, the morning shift of the 20th of May. We'll find out about that. All right, we will roll Jane's recon as Jane is keeping watch to see if Cutler can approach Staff in the middle of the night. We'll give Jane a +1 for. Jack is sitting up with Jane. Whether Cutler gets to actually approach Staff. No. So Jane is being too aware. Jane's sitting nearest Staff and McCoy because of Staff basically saving her life. That would probably have created an even tighter bond between them. Particularly as Jane is just getting battered. Like, this has not been good for her long-term health, and so she's staying nearby. So Cutler wouldn't easily be able to approach. So maybe he comes over, and she would just basically look aware, and he would have to slink off. He will have to try and approach Staff in the morning. In which case, I'm going to give everyone. So when you do XP in Twilight 2000, this edition of Twilight 2000, it's a standard type of XP that you do with most Free League games. There's a set of questions that you ask at the end of every session, and if you say yes to it, you get an XP. With this, what we decided way back in Series 1 is that at the end of every day, 4 shifts, we would do XP questions. I haven't mentioned it in ages, I normally just do it in the background. And so these are the questions. Did you participate in the game session? You don't get that XP if you play solo. Nobody gets an XP for participating because it's just you. I think that's to encourage people to turn up and schedule. Did you follow your moral code despite this significant risk to yourself or your group? Not an easy one to answer. I think most of the team follow their moral code most times, so that's the equivalent. Though sometimes they would break their moral code. Overall, when I'm trying to create characters and do character-driven work, I try and keep them to the moral code that I kind of either consciously or subconsciously assign to that character. Did you risk or sacrifice something significant to resolve your big dream? I mean, most of their big dreams revolve around either not losing their soul to the war or getting home. So Staff's big dream, for example, is get everyone home, and he's still driving towards that, although we've got a bit waylaid over the last few episodes, and really we need to start heading west, which is probably about to happen at the end of this one. Did you travel through at least one hex on the travel map that you had not visited before? That we're not getting a +1 for that because we've been in the prison the whole of this time, so we haven't actually done that. Though we have explored the prison, we haven't explored the map. So I think that's to encourage movement rather than encourage just, turtle down. Did you overcome one or more dangerous events? Yeah, they all did that. The prison has been an incredibly volatile place to be. Did you risk your life for the PC who is your buddy? The whole of the buddy system is pretty okay, but I don't, like somebody commented about it in Free League games, there seems to be a assign your buddy at the beginning of the game. Although the game, Twilight 2000 does have rules for you to switch your buddy at any point in time, like if you build new relationships and bonds with some of the other players. But we haven't really been doing that, and I think the majority of the team. So I haven't created anyone in this context who is self-serving as of yet. Possibly if we have somebody who joins soon. I mean, Tracy did mention that the prison is rife for having someone join. For instance, if in the morning Cutler approaches staff and gets them and convinces staff to allow him on board and they all leg it, and Cutler joins the team for a while, Cutler is going to be self-serving, and so Cutler will be an insidious member internal in the team, possibly creating conflict and strife without the rest of the team knowing, and then we'll have to resolve that maybe in season 3. So I will now go through and give everyone XP. So probably we'll be giving everyone 3 XP for the stuff they've done over the 19th of May, and then we will rejoin the team at the morning of the 20th of May. Okay, so everyone's got their XP. Jane, who has been unconscious for ages, has got loads of XP because she hasn't spent any on anything. She's got 21, and I think 20 points allows you to go from possibly a C to a B, or it might be a B to an A. Let me check. XP. Let me some advice, you solo gamers out there. Get those little. I bought them on Amazon. I don't think they were very expensive on Amazon. Let me show you. It was about 10 Australian dollars, and it was. This is an old post-it notes. The very old set of post-it notes, which comes from a pharmaceutical company, because my ex used to work for a doctor's, and they used to get loads of those. But anyway, these are the ones I got off of Amazon. Little post-it notes. They're the sort of ones that stick on the side, different colours, and you can write stuff on. I have begun, my Cyberpunk Red book is littered with them, but also the Twilight 2000. I've begun using them, so it's much quicker on your own when you're trying to look something up, just to flick on the bit. And so what you can use, instead of using the references that they use, whatever is a fast trigger. And some of the books are just stupidly littered with these things. I mean, to start off with, I was an idiot. I just stuck the thing, which you can see like this one, without anything written on it, which means I then couldn't remember where anything was, and it still took ages. But just put something, so this bit, i.e. is written XP across the top tag. And so 20 points will take a B to an A. So Jane has enough XP to take a B to an A. I'm highly tempted to take her range combat from a B, D10, up to an A, so she's AA for range combat, and make Jane the killing machine, fully embrace her killing machine nature, because with her leg brace she can't chase people down, but she can stay stationary and just ping anyone and anywhere from any distance. That does feel a very Jane thing to do. I mean, she could go close combat, because she has had to be going to close combat a couple of times, like that last session with the bottle, and bumping that C to a B would be 15 XP. But taking the B to an A for range combat does feel more Jane, although it does make her a one-trick pony. She's very good at that trick. So I think we will burn that 20 XP now, and we're going to take that B to an A for Jane, who, although has been incapacitated, we can't exactly say she's never rolled a success for range combat before. She's already also got, just to remind you, she has the talent, the speciality rifleman and sniper. So she gets a +1 in range. So that would basically, with the D12 would mean that mostly, even with minuses, she's rolling D12. We are on to the 20th of May. So we did Jacob healed. Jacob has 1 stress left and 2 damage. Toby had some stress that healed in sleeping, although I think when Toby wakes up, looks out the top of the Bradley and sees these 2 forces sort of squaring up a couple of miles across from each other. Toby may be going into the prison and saying to staff, "It's time we leave." So, morning of the 20th of May. Thunder, lightning, very frightening me. I won't roll it because we know that there's a storm, and the refugees would be packing up camp in the morning of the 20th of May as the rain pelts down. People in the prison might be trying to save the crops, and so the team might be asked to help with doing that. Staff is going to be approached by Cutler, who is going to attempt to approach staff while they're getting coffee. I think Toby will come into the prison and he's going to mention the US-Soviet issue outside. Jacob's still got some healing to do, I think. Jacob still has 6 days worth of healing. So Jacob will go see the doctor, give the doctor a chance to do a roll, and then he's going to help with the crop protection. Let's see, Jane is going to hang around Staff and McCoy. So they are going to do the equivalent of exploring, because Jane hasn't really seen the place, and I think Jack will explore with them as well. No, Jack's going to help Jacob with the crops. So Staff will have told Jane about the Borowski brothers and Rasputin, and they'll probably be looking for the Borowski brothers and other clues, which gives Cutler a chance to come over and try and see if he can get them to leave, when Toby will come in and tell them stuff's kicking off. And we also have our 2 clocks for the Soviets and for... Oh, actually, we'll do 3 clocks. We've got the Soviets might kick off. Then we've got the US might have just had enough. They'll kick off. And then we've got the intelligence agent might make a move on Cutler. So we've got 3 clocks now. We'll set... So the US have only just turned up. So they won't be too short. But they didn't turn up expecting to see this massive Soviet troop. I mean, would that agent have told them? Maybe the agent told them. Maybe that's why they've turned up. Maybe they've turned up because they know they're there. In which case, we'll have 2 dice for them, 2 dice for the Soviet force, and 2 dice for Cutler, because that's how we stand at the moment. So, 2 dice for the Soviets. Are they going to kick off? No. 2 dice for the US troops outside. Are they getting peeved? No. Oh, have I told you how this works? If I roll a 1, then it comes out the pool. As soon as the pool empties, the event kicks off. The intelligence agent, who we don't know what they look like within the prison, who is attempting to make a move on Cutler to get that piece of evidence off. Does that kick off? No. And let's do a 3 dice pool, which is the Borowski brothers catching Cutler. Yes, one of those comes off like that. So we've now got 4 pools. We have the US with 2 dice. We have the Soviets with 2 dice. We have the intelligence agent with 2 dice, and we have the Borowskis, who have closed in there trying to find where Cutler has secreted himself in the morning shift. Now, that's going down there. We will throw in an event, because the more chaos, the better for this event here. And it might be something small that we can easily resolve, or it might be something we'll just throw away. And I'll get, it's feeling like it's coming down to the white. Oh, this is another countdown event. Sergeant Cutler realises his sanctuary is now quite literally his prison. He's stuck, he must get out, but by now intelligence agencies are sniffing around for the disc. He's ready to cut a deal with whoever he thinks he can. Oh, that's coincidental. That is purely coincidental. So the event that triggers is the one that we said we were going to do in this morning anyway, which is Sergeant Cutler is going to approach the team to try and get him out. He's going to offer them anything they want. Let's say, so it says that he is, let me just quickly read up his little brief. Or let me read it to you. I'll just read it to you. I've got the prison marked. I can just flip straight to it. It's a beautiful system. It's just like the dude who said that was invented in the 1960s. I can say I invented this. I didn't, of course, because I didn't invent the cutlers, those things. All right, so let me tell you about Sergeant Cutler, because he's going to come and he's going to approach. So of course, staff doesn't know this, but the intelligence agent, there's Mandy's got a bike on the front porch, and you can see the front porch through the front windows, which is over there, and it's got a cover over it. And every now and then the wind blows underneath the cover and it starts to move, and it looks just like someone sticking their head up over there. It's quite off-putting. I might leave that in, or I might cut it. So let me tell you about Cutler. Cutler is a Polish-American traitor. He served in the US Special Forces during the war, but was turned by a KGB handler prior to the war's outcome. But he had a gambling problem, which made him easy to turn. In the opening days of World War III, Cutler reported to his KGB master, and in doing so caused the failure of a major operation in Lithuania behind enemy lines and the loss of half a dozen other Special Forces operators training partisan resistance there. This instance also involved the computer zip disk. you remember zip disks? Oh yeah, the zip drive. With everyone else dead, it fell into his hands. Any US military member that recognises him would probably likely kill him. He knows this and quickly adopted a Polish persona after the slaughter with help from his KGB contact. He speaks fluent Polish and one cannot tell the difference between his manner of speaking and that of a native. That's not how I speak Dutch. I speak Dutch like an Eastender who's desperately trying to speak Dutch. To date, that has kept him alive. He came to the prison to evade those hunting him and came up with a workable plan for how to handle the disc. He doesn't know what it contains and has no way of accessing it, but he does know that the information is very valuable. He knows that the intelligence agencies would likely kill him even if he just gave them the disc. And he's looking for a way out and a big paycheck. All right, so he's got the teacher skill and he's a linguist. He's got good persuasion, low empathy, good intelligence, fair close combat, fair range combat, fair recon, fair strength and agility. He's cool as a cucumber under fire, i.e. he rolls a d12. All right, Cutler, here we go. Do you want to see a picture of him? During this period of time, Staff and Jane are with McCoy. They are chatting to people in the common room where the fight kicked off. People are treating Jane particularly in a bit of awe because of her leg brace. She stands out because she's got bandages across her torso because of her fractured collarbone. Because of her fractured collarbone. Sorry, I forgot the word collarbone. That's why there'd be a weird cut there. I had to look up what the injury was. Fractured collarbone. I'm not even pointing at it because of her fractured collarbone. And so they're all treating her with a bit of awe. So they are going to be talking to her. We are going to make a roll because Cutler's going to have to come out in the open to come and speak to them. So Cutler will come up, will sidle over. People are talking to him because they know him. He speaks native Polish. Whoever this intelligence agent is, the friend of Cutler's has arrived. He knows Cutler betrayed the US Army. Cutler must deal with him. Willie asks the PCs for help. So this intelligence agent who's turned up doesn't speak fluent Polish, but does recognise Cutler. But I don't know whether they are going to approach the team, but definitely Cutler is now going to see the team as a potential way out. So they're having coffee, they're chatting and having a laugh. Oh, this is my mate Jane, isn't it? You saw her yesterday, isn't it? She broke up that fight that dealt with that dude. You know, the one that Rasputin, dealt with. It's Jane. He's hard as nails, she is. Hard as nails. You see something 10 miles away, you want it dead, she'll sort it out for you. That is the sort of thing you'd probably say though, isn't it? Completely inappropriate to a bunch of civilians who are just looking, but in Polish. So, Cutler is going to approach them. Because Cutler approaches them, the guy sort of gets an inkling, hears that Cutler's surfaced. So where's the intel? Intel agent has dropped to 1 dice. Because I rolled that one, so it comes out. So now we've only got 1 dice left in the pool. Next time we roll, if that one comes up, it kicks off and the guy's going to make a move on to try and kill Cutler and get that disc. So Cutler's going to approach Staff and Jane, and Cutler is going to start talking to them in a very, it's going to start talking Polish to them. Little sip of birthday coffee. Actually, whilst I do that, I'm talking about birthdays, for once I'm going to remember in the middle of this to say, here we go, this is what I do. I do tell stories like this. If you have not subscribed and you fancy watching these more often, I do about 3 times a week at the moment. I release a story. At the moment we're doing Twilight 2000, Cyberpunk Red, and I've just started doing the Electric State. After the Electric State, which is short run, I'm going to do some indie games for a bit, stuff from Steve D, and maybe Across 1,000 Dead Worlds, but that rulebook is massive, I tell you, it's massive. If you enjoy all these sorts of things and my storytelling, please consider subscribing. That would be awesome. We also have the Adventures Guild, which is members, and membership names will go across the top. Thank you very much for joining the Adventures Guild and for the support of me. There's a join button down the bottom if you would like to support the channel. Otherwise, we'll just it's my birthday. We'll leave it at that. Thank you very much. Thank you very much indeed. Really, really, thank you so much. Moving on. So, he's come over and he's speaking to them in a broad Polish accent. They're not too sure. All right, fella, I have no idea what you're saying. I have not got a clue. What? And then he'll switch straight across into an American accent speaking fluent English, and he's going to attempt to ask them to help him out. He's going to say that he is an intelligent agent in hiding. He has some information which is pertinent to the war that needs to get across and to Berlin. He needs them to take it. Oh, that could be a drive. That could be a drive. And then they'll find out there was a storyline in the Walking Dead comics where I can't remember his name. He said he was a scientist and he was getting messages from the radio, and the radio didn't even have batteries in it. But he's going to say that he needs to go west. So we will have, let's see, who's 8? Jane's got rubbish. Staff is at the moment D8, D8 for persuasion. So Staff is going to roll D8, D8, and that's going to be the target, as this guy comes at nothing. Okay, well, as long as the guy gets a hit, he's convinced Staff that he means business. So this bloke is D8, D8. Persuasion B, empathy B. Failing. Okay, so the bloke comes over, and Staff's like, "All right, fella, I haven't got a clue who you are. What are you asking?" Look, he's taken him over to a corner. "I need to get out of here. You need to get me west." "What do we need to do?" "We don't need to do anything, mate. We're heading off soon." And then Toby's going to come in at this point, because this is going, "What are you talking about, mate?" And then Cutler might have to fade into the background because he failed that roll. So Toby then will come in, and Toby's going to go, Staff. "All right, fella, what are you doing back in there? I thought you were going to stay in with the car. What are you doing out here?" You have locked it up, haven't you?" Can you lock them up? I don't suppose you can. I don't suppose you can lock them up. I mean, yeah, I don't reckon on a battlefield, a Bradley, someone's going to try and jimmy into a Bradley and drive away. There's no Grand Theft Auto 5 involving a Bradley. You what stuff? "Don't worry about it. What are you here for?" Then Toby's going to tell him that there's a whole, like, mile over that way, a whole bunch of troops have turned up with another tank, or maybe 2 small tanks. I don't know tanks off the top of my head. Do you know? I've never learnt these. Abram, M1, that rings bells in my head. Maybe I do know these things. 2 small, so we've got Bradley's a small transport. M1 Abrams, oh, there we go. A couple of M1 Abrams have turned up. They're squaring off against the T-72. Personally, he goes, it looks like all hell's going to kick loose. That was last night, and this morning it looks like the US is getting some people in a Jeep and they're sending them across to the prison. It goes, they're heading here now. That's why I've come in, they're heading now. And the other ones, they do not look happy that they're heading over. The Polish are trying to intercept it, and they're coming over, because the Polish army there, and so they're being meet up. Rasputin probably will go out and talk to them. Is Staff going to want to get involved in this, or is Staff going to want to get out? "All right, fella, I reckon we need to have a talk about this. Where's Jack and Jacob gone? Where are them 2 geezers gone?" Jane will then say, they've gone to help with the crops, because there's storm outside, and Toby's going to go, it is absolutely... Toby's American, so I was going to say raining cats and dogs. I don't think you'd say that, would you? It's absolutely bucketing it down, geezer. I don't even say that either. It's really raining quite hard. And so the crops are getting... So they're trying to protect the crops. Lord, let's make them 2 make a roll for protecting the crops, because they're out getting soaked trying to protect crops, which is going to be difficult for Jacob, because Jacob is still suffering from pain in his elbow, which hasn't healed yet. So we will give them both mobility rolls, and if they get a hit, then it's good. So Jack hasn't got good, no, but he'll push. He might get hurt in the process. He does. So he pushes, strains his ankle, but everyone, has good regard for him for doing that. And then we have Jacob. Jacob is a D10, D8. No, he hasn't got a D10, D8. That's range combat. He's got a D10, just a D10. No, and he'll push as well. Oh, 2 hits. Okay, so Jacob makes up for Jack twisting his ankle, and they're pulling tarpaulins over the grain crops, which are inside the prison, and then they've gone outside and they're protecting the crops outside. They've noticed off in the distance. It's hard to see. Let's see if they make a recon roll. D8, D8. It should be with minuses because the rate. Nope. And then we've got Jack. Jack's quite intelligent. He's got D12, D8. Nope. So they don't notice that it's rained here and they're too focused. So they're coming in. We'll say this is the day shift. So that's the morning. We've got Cutler. Maybe Cutler will put on more pressure. Let's give Cutler one last roll. He's going to really try and put the pressure on. What have we got? Oh, but no, he's got a D10. D10, D8. So Cutler's going to really try putting the pressure on to let him go. Otherwise, he might say that he can get them stuff. He'll just lie. No, okay, so he's going to lie and say that he knows where. Maybe he does. Does he know where there's a drop? Can we give Cutler a piece of information? Cutler did work for the special forces. He did work for the intelligence services. He did work intelligence and special forces. He might know where there is weapons. If we pull out a red card, then he actually knows where something is. If we pull out a red face card, he actually knows where something is, and it will have a resupply, a good resupply of heavy weapon stuff for them. So red, he actually knows where something is. Hearts, he actually knows where something is. It's not a face card, hearts, which if I remember rightly is 16%. What would I do the next one? Oh, heart skin. It's hearts, so he actually knows where there's a supply cache. Maybe like it's an airdrop, like one of the other ones. He knows where there's a supply cache. We will, I don't know, we might actually send them north to go towards the hostile waters, because maybe that's what, though we did say we want to go to Berlin, that would be a way to head out towards Berlin. So we might send them north, because then we can go onto the hostile waters map. He will, so Staff has basically ignored him. He sailed it off, he's come back, and he's going to say, look, I've got to get out of here. If you can get me out, then I can get you to a supply cache. I know where there's stuff hidden in this area. I have information that can help you, but I've got to get out of here. The information I've got has to get to Berlin. Story-wise, we can just say that Staff. Oh, all right. Hold on. Let me have a think. Let's ask the car. We'll ask the cars. Is he convincing? Red, Staff is going to say, so it's a 50-50. Red, Staff is going to consider it, and then we'll do roll. Red face card, Staff will say yes. Blacks, Staff goes, look mate, I haven't got time for this. I don't know if you've heard that, but there's a bloody war's going to kick off outside here. And I don't know. I can't do anything about it. I've got to get us out of here. We've got to go. Got to get us out of here. All right, so I think day shift, Staff is going to pull everyone back together, and Staff is going to try and get people to start. Staff's going to try and get people to start collecting stuff up to go. We need to, if we want to get fuel, all right, so they're going to need food and they need fuel. Food and fuel if they can get out of there. They don't have much to trade because they've not really been collecting stuff for trade, because we haven't really thought that far ahead. I think that's what we need to start thinking about, collecting stuff for trade. Because at the moment, they gave a lot of their spare stuff to the people setting up Rocklaw. Now, if these two forces kick off, the prison is going to fall. And we are basically by the end of today, this is going to kick off. So Staff needs to start. This is looking urgent outside. There's two forces building up outside. The prison could defend itself, but they're not equipped to defend themselves. And all of a sudden, I just realised how urgent Staff would actually feel this. And all of a sudden, I realised Staff's going to want to. Staff's going to want to go, because this is going to kick off and the prison's going to fall, and they're going to have to basically be retreating from a war zone again. So the only thing that I could think of is that there's an M240 and there are 6 M4A1s on the Bradley that they could strip and trade for food and fuel. So potentially Staff can attempt to trade those for food and fuel, which means that he needs to go and secure someone to get stuff, whilst we send, say, Jacob and Toby to go and strip that stuff off of the Bradley, and then we can trade that stuff out. Now, we also need medical help. Now, there's a doctor here who seemed a bit sus about being at the prison. Staff can try and come and convince her that stuff's going to kick off. He is heading west. She can come with him. She is actually Russian and probably wants to head east, but anywhere might be better than here. We don't know whether that'd work, and that would then give another opportunity for Cutler to try and come and ask, can he come too, or things to kick off. So Jane, Staff and Jack are going to go and try and get Deals and Doctor. Toby and Jacob are going to try and strip sellable stuff. Toby might not be that happy about doing that, but there's not much that I think they've got left that they could actually trade. The only thing that they've got inside that, so I mean, they've got some radios, there is that large steel. Toby could have been doing that actually over the last bits. He could have been doing, we could say that Toby has made 100 litres of fuel. That would be strapped on the outside, but that would need to be set up, and he doesn't have anywhere to set that up. Do we have, so who had, so okay, Jacob has one rocket left for his RPG 7V. That's the only heavy weapon we've got. We've got the PKM, we have a couple of belts of ammo for the PKM, there's M16, we've got some frag grenades, we've got a shotgun, there is a hazmat suit and a medical kit. We do have a large radio that we scavenged, we have some small radios, hunting rifles, pistols. The L96 would sell for a fortune, but I don't think staff would want to shift the L96. So they will try and get, so they're going to approach the doctor because they want medical stuff. So they're going to go to see the doctor. If the doctor is going to come with them, then she will bring medical equipment. And then we'll have the doctor until we head off somewhere, and then the doctor will want to leave. So we've got this person who is this, the Spetsner that I forgot all about, who's basically Rasputin's bodyguard. I forgot to include her. So the doctor has empathy of B and nothing for persuasion. So staff's going to go see the doctor. It's going to say, Doc, alright, Doc love, I don't know if you heard it, but this stuff is going to go down soon. Alright, actually we could roll that first. US outside. Nope. Soviets outside. Nope. The Intel fella. Nope. The Borowski brothers. Yes. Okay, so the Borowski brothers are starting to close in on Cutler. The US forces have sent a representative down with the Soviets, and they're having discussions over who's going to piss off and whose prison this is. And it's starting to get a bit heated because we're down to 2 dice each. Staff is talking to the doctor. Staff is going to try and say, look, it's going to get a bit messy. I need you to come. Now let's see if he can be convincing enough. Yes, okay, so he's trying to convince her. Does she want to stay here and look after the people that she has been looking after for so long? So she is in 2 minds whether to come. She's very much tilting towards coming with them if stuff breaks down. And so the doctor looks like, so the doctor's going to start treating people and get stuff ready, because if the prison falls, is she going to want to stay here? It says long term she wants to go home. She wants to go back to Russia, but she wants to survive. So she might actually take, okay, so she's going to start, so doctor is going to, all right, the doctor's coming. So if they can take the doctor, so it's still thunder, the storms are cracking down, the doctor is going to pack up her stuff. So the doctor's going to pack up a couple of big bags worth of stuff, and he's going to start advising people that it's the prison, that it's done here. So the doctor's going to do that. Now, can Staff and Jane negotiate some food from someone? They'll push it. No. Okay, no one's doing deals on anything. Everyone is starting to be panicky. Everyone's starting to sort of batten down and collect stuff up, and people starting to get their stuff together to split. Rasputin is probably outside trying to deal with the issues. We'll have Toby and Jacob are going to make a roll. Probably Toby D10, D8, D10, D10, because they're helping each other to try and strip stuff, because they don't know that there's no one buying. No. All right, they'll push. Okay, yes. So they managed to actually strip this. They're stripping stuff down during this shift. maybe they can. Maybe we'll just be able to get basic food. We can get a roll high D6, so we can get 3 days worth of food for the lot of us, and that's the best we've got. 3 days worth of food for the lot of us for all of the M240. Nobody wants the M4As, so somebody on the quiet buys that and gives us a load of food, and the doctor will bring some stuff potentially if she gets out of here, but who knows what's going to kick off. Evening shift. We are going to try getting out and start moving stuff into the car and getting people into the car quietly. Cutler is going to approach staff again. Let's do one of these encounters. We're running out of them, and then I think I know what's going to end this. Okay, all right, so all right, we'll have that. If that kicks off at the same time as we roll those dice, that would be awesome. So this says, the two Borowski brothers, having discovered Cutler's knowledge, kidnap him during the night. The PCs overhear the struggle. So what that is basically going to be is that we are going to we will encounter Cutler being accosted by the Borowski brothers, and if we can roll that the prison falls at the same time, then what we can have is yeah. All right. What we'll have is next session. We will have a running. Let's have that happen. Let's roll this. If this doesn't work, we might have it happen anyway. US, no. Soviets outside. Come on, no. Intelligence agent, no. Borowski brothers, yes. Cool. Well, that lines up with that. Okay, so the Borowski brothers do kick off, but we're going to have in the evening shift. We will have either the Soviets or the US forces have enough. This is the US forces. This is the Soviet forces. All right. Who kicks it off? Maybe they both do. Maybe we'll just do that. Maybe what's going to happen is that we'll come into the evening shift on the 20th of May. We will have, I'll write this down. So how about this? We will attempt to do it based on the Borowski brothers. So the Borowski brothers are going to approach, so we've got the Soviet forces and we've got the Intel forces outside. We are going to have that the Borowski brothers are going to approach Cutler. And they're going to attempt to get the stuff off of Cutler, and we are going to encounter Cutler being accosted by the Borowski brothers, and then we'll have a fight kick off between them. At that point, we will then have the shells start firing outside as both because they've been there for, they've been standing outside for way too long now. They're going to want the prison, and they want the intel coming out from Cutler. And so they're going to start hitting the prison at the same time. And then we will attempt to skirmish, deal with that fight, deal with the skirmish, head north, see who survives, heading north, and call that the end. And we'll have a bit of a skirmish there. I think that will work as an ending. Thank you very much for watching that. We will then conclude Series 2 next episode with, I think the prison falls. We will have them attempting to get away with the Dr. Alagurin, possibly with Cutler, depending on how that goes, and head north with the Data, a Doctor, and see who can survive and who gets into the Bradley and get away, and even if the Bradley does get away. Let's find out what happens at the end of Series 2 of Twilight 2000 next week. Thank you very much for watching. If you're a subscriber, I very much appreciate your subscription. If you are not yet a subscriber, please consider subscribing. Thank you very much to the Adventures Guild for all of your support. If you would like to join, there's a join button down the bottom, and a happy birthday to me, and we will conclude this next week. Thank you very much. Enjoy.